Have the creators of Game of Thrones brought us the next Black Mirror? The Three-Body Problem is now streaming on Netflix. The series follows modern-day scientists in London, uncovering a global conspiracy tied to an alien invasion. A decision by a Chinese astrophysicist triggers the discovery of the Trisolarans, now headed to Earth to colonize. As the Oxford Five and the government join forces to try and solve the mystery, humanity's fate hangs in the balance. So my friends, with season 1 of the Three-Body Problem, do we have a blockbuster, a 50-50, or a flopbuster on our hands? One of Netflix's most talked about sci-fi series, The Three-Body Problem, is based on Liu Cixin's famous novel. It explores humanity's first contact with an alien civilization. Think of it as a mix between the Arrival and Interstellar, but with a complex story that dives into our place within the universe. When strange signals from space trigger a global crisis, a group of scientists learn that they're coming from the three-body system. They realize that the fate of both humans and aliens might be closely connected, leading to a deep exploration of survival. The main conflict is whether humanity should get ready for an alien invasion or try to connect peacefully with the aliens. As fear and betrayal rise, different groups on Earth argue about taking aggressive action versus being diplomatic, uncovering secrets that could change everything for humanity. For fans of sci-fi with rich political themes, The Three-Body Problem really does stand out. Similar to shows like The Expanse or Westworld, tackling difficult questions about human nature and how civilizations interact. Netflix's adaptation promises immersive visuals and stays true to the novel's depth. We're getting 8 episodes that are roughly made up of between 50 to 60 minutes in length. So I actually thought that the length of the episodes ran quite well with what the story needed to cover. The plot and storyline for the show really hits the mark straight from the off. It brilliantly intertwines a centuries-old physics problem with a gripping narrative about first contact with an alien race. I thought that for a season 1 rollout, it expertly balances present-day events with impactful flashbacks demonstrating how past decisions influence the present. There's this headset that's used that I can only describe as looking like the Apple Vision Pros, and with this headset, it's used as a recruitment tool to test the brilliantest of brilliant minds of the human race, bringing them into the understanding as they move up level by level of why the aliens are making their way to Earth. And when it comes to memorable moments, there was one particular that really did stand out to me, and that's in episode 7 with Will Downing's character. The line is, "It's a good story though, isn't it? It's much more exciting to imagine a future war of the worlds than it is to muck around with our own problems." Now, it's a really interesting line because it highlights and makes you reflect how we often prefer big stories over real life issues. This scene is important because it shows how we can get distracted by exciting narratives instead of dealing with what's happening around us. Will's words make us think about the consequences of ignoring our real-world challenges. The twist here is the reminder that while we love grand stories, we need to focus on our current problems. It raises the questions of whether we're really ready to tackle these issues, instead of escaping into fantasy. The resolution comes from recognizing the need to pay attention to reality. Will's comments encourages both characters and viewers to confront present challenges rather than getting lost in imaginary futures. This resolution really got me thinking. It emphasizes the importance of thinking critically about the stories that we consume and addressing how real-life issues are key to making real progress. When it comes to the critiques of the show, one of the main issues with the Three-Body Problem series is the character depth is lacking. While the story starts very, very strong, it gradually loses momentum, and the climax seems to happen really early on, which diminishes the overall excitement towards the latter stages of the show. In the early stages of the show, the characters are introduced with intriguing backgrounds and a high potential for growth. However, as the series progresses, their development seems to stall, leading to a missed opportunity, I personally feel, for deeper emotional connection to be made. This lack of character depth is quite evident when it comes to key moments that really should resonate more. This lack of character depth is evident in key moments that should really resonate more powerfully. Instead of exploring the characters' motivations and struggles, the focus seems to shift away from them, which started to make me feel a little bit detached from their journeys. Not completely, but it did start to creep in. The resolution of the plot had a lot of potential to be very satisfying, but I don't think it did quite live up to expectations. Because without the strong character arcs, the stakes don't resonate as deeply. The early climax leaves little room for the characters to evolve or face even more significant challenges. As a result, the overall experience feels a little bit underwhelming. The initial excitement when you kick off with the show is really good and really positive, but weirdly, as you move towards the latter stages of the show, that amazement is very obvious, because the beginning part of the show in comparison to the latter stages of the show, completely different in my book. As a result, the overall experience feels underwhelming. The initial excitement gives way to a sense of frustration. I wouldn't say that the show completely fails to deliver on its promise, but I don't think it's completely in line with expectations as you move to the latter stages of the show. Now, the stars of the show are Eliza Gonzalez as Aggie Salazar, Marlo Kelly as Tatiana, Jess Hong as Jin Cheng, Benedict Wong as Da Shi, John Bradley as Jack Rooney, Alex Sharp as Will Downing, Rosalind Chow as Yi Wenji, C. Shimoka as Sophon, Jovan Adepo as Sol Durand, Liam Cunningham as John Wade, and Jonathan Price as Mike Evans. Now, when it comes to the standout performances and the character development in this show, I think that the character depth definitely could have been built out further, especially so that we could build out more of a connection with them. Now, my top picks for the standout ones to watch are Aggie Salazar, Will Downing, Sol Durand, Jin Cheng, and Jack Rooney. Each one of these characters are part of the Oxford Five, and each one of them brings something different to the story. Jin is a really smart physicist that cares deeply about others. Aggie is an inventive nanotech creator who shows strength and vulnerability. Sol has talent, but he feels that he's not done enough, while Will, a modest teacher, provides that emotional support. Jack, the fun-loving entrepreneur, adds that element of humour and is always there for his friends. And together they really do face serious challenges as the threat of the alien invasion looms closer. Each character deals with the main conflict in their own way. Jin is determined to find answers in her chaotic research. Aggie is scared when she starts seeing a strange countdown, which makes her question her work. Sol struggles with feelings of not measuring up as he watches his friends succeed, while Will deals with life-changing news that forces him to prove himself. Jack, who isn't academic anymore, keeps everyone grounded with his loyal and easygoing attitude. Their different reactions add tension to the story, but also strengthen their friendships. As mysterious signals from space create a crisis, each character faces personal challenges. Jin tries to balance her love for physics with the chaos around her. Aggie must confront her fears about the countdown, with Sol feeling stuck compared to his friends, while Will's news pushes him to a more defeatist attitude. Even though Jack isn't involved in the science world, he remains a supportive friend, encouraging everyone to face their fears together. Their individual struggles create drama, but also deepen their bonds. In the end, it's not just Jin's brains or Aggie's creativity that help them through, it's their teamwork. Each character brings their strength to the table. Jin's leadership, Aggie's inventiveness, Sol's problem solving, Will's emotional support, and Jack's loyalty. Together, they tackle the alien threat and learn to trust and rely on one another even more. Their journey together shows how working together can help them overcome big challenges. Their stories are intertwined and connected with one another, showing how friendship and teamwork can help them face tough situations. Jin's growth as a leader, Aggie learns to face her fears, Sol starts to gain confidence, Will becomes that important ally, and Jack remains that really loyal friend. Together, they create a rich story around community and support, reminding us of how important it is to be there for one another, especially when facing the unknown. That leaves an ultimate decision that needs to be made, which is my decision on the chosen standout one to watch out of the ones to watch, being Aggie. Aggie Salazar is a really smart and determined scientist, and she actually started out really struggling, and now she runs her own very successful nanotech company. She wants to create things that really do empower and help people, which does make her character really inspiring. At Oxford, Aggie switched from Vera's course to applied science to make a real impact. She and her best friend, Jin, support each other through their PhD program, and Aggie's motivation comes from seeing her family struggle without help. Now, as the head of her nanotech company, she's close to achieving something big. However, Aggie faces a major challenge when she suddenly sees a mysterious countdown timer in her field of vision. This strange experience threatens her work and raises concerns about her mental health. Instead of giving in to her fear, Aggie reaches out to Jin and Sol for support. She uses her knowledge and determination to figure out the timer's meaning, which helps her grow stronger and more focused on her goals. I really do love Aggie's journey because she shows resilience and ambition, even when things get really tough. Her growth from a doubtful student into a leader in her field is really inspiring, and her relationships make her character more relatable, and that is why she is definitely my favourite character in The Three Body Problem. When it comes to the visual and cinematography in The Three Body Problem, the show clearly demonstrates the differences between the past and the present, which ultimately enriches the story. A standout visual would be how the flashbacks use a vintage style, contrasting with the sleek look of present-day scenes. A memorable moment is when flashbacks appear muted and old-fashioned, while the present day is bright and modern, reflecting the changes over time. The visuals build tension, especially during alien-related scenes. The advanced alien technology creates awe and fear, raising the stakes for the characters. The cinematography helps resolve key moments by focusing on characters, with blurred backgrounds that highlight their feelings, making their journeys more impactful. Overall, the visual and cinematography greatly enhances the story, helping playing a part in us as the viewers to understand the characters, along with their challenges, while making the experience more engaging. When it comes to the entertainment value of The Three Body Problem, the concept of an alien invasion that's intertwined with advanced technology presents a thrilling premise. Compared to other sci-fi shows like The Arrival and Westworld, the show captivates with its unique angle of targeting humanity's smartest minds, but it doesn't quite capitalize on the excitement throughout the run. The biggest challenge that I found with keeping me engaged is the untapped potential with the development around the character depth. I mean, it really could have gone that much further and deeper. While the series really does start strong and grabs your full attention, it gradually pulls back from the excitement. I think the climax happens too early, making it difficult for the story to maintain its momentum, which played a huge part in keeping me fully invested as I was in the start with the characters and their journey. Overall, while The Three Body Problem does offer an intriguing take, it does leave you feeling a little bit let down due to the lack of character depth and what seems to be its backwards, uneven pacing. The potential is definitely there, with a season 2 and season 3 I think and hope is coming, but it doesn't quite reach its full impact by the end. I give season 1 of The Three Body Problem a 3.5 out of 5 buckets, meaning it's between a binge watching 50-50 and a blockbuster. So here's the binge watching question. Let's say we wake up tomorrow and we find ourselves under threat of an alien invasion. How do you think that we would fare? Let me know down in the comments below. As always, don't forget to smash a like if you enjoyed, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and follow us on social media to stay up to date with the latest content. If you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right here to see more. I'm Matthew, this is Binge Watcher. Thanks for binging with me.